Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be looking at a mod called Extra Golems, and it does basically what it sounds like. It adds extra golems to the game. Now everyone knows that you have the standard iron golems that you can make by using blocks of iron in a T pattern. So by putting it in a T pattern like this, and then by putting a carved pumpkin on top, you make an iron golem which can be used to attack mobs and defend your bases or yourself. So they're pretty cool and they're pretty useful. You can also use them in some farms, like for example a slime farm can make use of iron golems to sort of lure the slimes to one side. But as you can imagine from the name of the mod, this basically adds a whole lot of new golems. And by a whole lot, I mean a whole lot. To be precise, there is 42 new golems that are added to the game, which brings the total of golems in the game up to 44 if you include the Snow Golem. So this mod is pretty easy to use. Basically what you do is you'll want to get a book and a carved pumpkin or even a normal pumpkin, put them together, and it makes this thing called the Extra Golems Guide. And then once you have that, you can read it. Let me just grab these things out. You can read it to get all the information you need about this mod. So for example, it has the guide talking about that it's a guide, a table of contents, but then it tells you the recipe for this item called the Golem spell, which uses paper, feather, redstone, and ink sac. And then if you put a golem spell and a pumpkin together, you make a golem head. And then you can use that golem head to build your golem. And the rest of this guide is basically just showing all the different types of golems that you can make, as well as several special effects that some of them have. Well, as all these blocks here that you can see have a different type of golem attributed to them. So I'm going to go through a few of the more interesting ones and talk about the effects and stuff that they have. Starting off with the Leaf Golem. So the Leaf Golem, as you can imagine, is made out of the leaves. So the thing that makes the Leaf Golem special is that it has regen 1 permanently, which is pretty cool, but overall it's kind of a weak golem. Moving on, we have the Straw Golem, which again is a weak golem for when it comes to fighting, but actually has a added effect, which I will see if I can show off now. Let's see, seeds. What it does is it actually causes nearby crops and stuff to grow faster, apparently, which I'm not seeing, so you'll just have to take my word at it, I guess. So I'm guessing it's sort of like a farmer type one. But again, let's move on from there. So the one after that, it's kind of a dual pair. It is the Bookcase Golem and the Lapis Golem. So the Bookcase Golem actually causes positive positive potion effects around you randomly, I think, or maybe it just has a positive potion effect randomly. And the Lapis Golem does the opposite. It inflicts negative potion effects to whoever's around it, or more precisely to I guess enemies. So again, it's pretty useful for combat, I guess, but I'm not sure if it's the strongest. And on the other hand, the Neverwort Block Golem apparently plants Neverworts, so that could also be useful in a farm. And whereas the Sponge Golem soaks up water, so I guess this one would just be a nuisance. Now I feel like I'm flying through these golems without being able to give a good demonstration of what they do, but honestly it's not the easiest thing, and most of them are kind of boring. So that's why I've put it down to at least the more interesting ones. The Melon Golem actually has an interesting effect, which again could be useful for a dye farm, and that is that it randomly plants flowers apparently. So let's see if it will, and of course as always it's not going to, but hopefully when I look back at all of them, oh wait, it just did. See, it could be useful in a plant farm, whereas the crafting table golem, it's a bit of a pain to build because of course you have to crouch to make it, and I'm not the most sure about its abilities because it basically is now a walking crafting table. So I guess it could be useful, but I feel like just use a crafting table in your inventory slot, or just have a load of wood in your inventory slot so that you can turn that into planks and into a crafting table when you need it. Moving on a lot further down, because there's a lot of boring golems in between, there is the Slime Golem, which is another useful one for combat, I guess. Which is because, move out of the way, because it, apparently from what I've heard, it splits and can do some other stuff. I don't know, but apparently it can split into two. The Tnt Golem, another useful one for combat, does about what you expect. It fights and it can randomly explode. I'm actually regretting this, because maybe it's going to explode randomly and it could kill me. Well, actually it can't kill me, I'm in creative mode, but it could cause a mess. Next golem is also useful with farms, and it is Mushroom Block. Now mushroom blocks can be a bit hard to get, but if you do get one and make a golem out of it, you'll be able to get a golem that randomly plants mushrooms everywhere, I guess. So that could also be useful. A very interesting color scheme. But moving on, we go to the Magma Block Golem, which is kind of like the Slime Golem a bit, because it can also split into two, but I'm pretty sure it's also fireproof and other stuff, and possibly can light things on fire. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, it's another combat focused golem, I guess, which a lot of them are. There's a lot of utility ones that are kind of useless, a lot of ones that are good for farms, and then there's combat ones, so I guess you can divide them into those three. And this one, the redstone lamp, is definitely a kind of useless utility one, but it's a bit more useful than some of the others, I guess, because it can turn light on and off. So if you take it with you or you're outside and you see it, you can tap on it to turn the light on so it glows, and then tap on it again to turn the light off, which could be useful, I guess. Now the next one is the Ice Golem, and it can be made out of normal ice, packed ice, and blue ice. And what it does is it freezes water next that it goes over, as well as cools down the lava to turn it into obsidian, or flowing lava into stone. Go away cow. So this is another utility one, although this one is probably one of the more useful ones. Actually it could be a farm one, because you can use it to farm ice and possibly obsidian, but it might not be the most efficient way. So as you can see, it instantly turned this into packed ice? Or just normal ice, I don't know. And this into obsidian. Is that packed ice? Yeah, that's packed ice. Does that mean that depending on what you... I don't know, maybe if you made this out of blue ice, it would have frozen it into blue ice, which would make it very efficient for a farm, because it means you can use it to turn water into packed ice directly without having to harvest the ice. Now sea lanterns are kind of like the lamp one, except for even less useful, because it glows, but you can't turn it on and off. Although unlike the normal ones, you can take this underwater, and it has advanced swimmer, so it can swim fast. So I guess it's underwater light. We're now down to the last 6 golems, which I'm going to show off today. I'm sorry, but this video is kind of boring and it's just me showing off different golems rather than being quick about it. But oh well. So actually for this golem I need arrows, and quite a few of them I think. So this golem is made out of dispensers. So what you do is you have to make it, it's kind of like the crafting table one, where you have to craft it up. You have to crouch to make it, but that's okay. So what this golem has special about it is the fact that once it's made, you can put arrows into it, and it will shoot the arrows at its enemies and stuff through the chest thing, which is pretty cool because it gives you a long range, so it's obviously combat focused, this one. But yeah, moving on to the Endstone Golem. This one is actually kind of like an Enderman because it can teleport, and it's also creepy. Like what in the world is with those eyes? But oh well. Also, has anyone ever thought about how weird it is that both Endermen and Nether portals give off those purple particles, but one's never focused and the other one's focused on the end? Like, weird. I guess it might be interdimensional travel thing rather than, or teleportation thing than anything else. But moving on, this is the Glowstone, and kind of like the sea lantern, it also glows and you can't turn it off. It's got a weird red thingy, I don't know, weird red vine. So moving on to the last 4. These last 4 are the 4 of the strongest of the golems, and they're all combat focused. So they all have high health as well as high attack. So starting off with the possibly the weakest of them would be the Emerald Golem. The Emerald Golem has very high attack and high defense, so it's kind of like a I don't know, a tank, I guess. Moving on to the Obsidian Golem, it again has the same type of high attack and high defense, but I'm pretty sure this one's blast resistant, like normal Obsidian is, so it's good against creepers, I suppose. Now moving on to the Diamond, it is basically just a stronger form of the Emerald Golem. So yeah, it's just pretty much the strongest of all the golems, I guess. But except for, of course, the last one, which is the Bedrock Golem. Now the Bedrock Golem can't be made, and the only way to get it in is through the spawn egg, but is creative mode only attainable. So apparently the Bedrock Golem is invincible, also looks very ugly. So to avoid it being on the loose and destroying everything, I have put it into a 2x2 hole, so that someday if I get too annoyed by it, I can just drop it down, because apparently, yeah, you can't damage it. It's got infinite health, it's got 99 heart health, but you can't actually damage it, unlike all the other golems. So that's about it for this mod. It is kind of exciting. It's a good mod that has a lot of utility, and I can see you being able to incorporate it in your game world pretty well. But it would make your game very focused on golems if you just had this mod, and you'd have to find ways to utilize most of them. It would be kind of like a normal survival except for a new feature, I guess. And I'm not opposed to having different types of golems added to the normal vanilla Minecraft, actually. I personally think that adding in a few new golems would be good, but maybe not 42 of them. But that's about it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a boring one, but oh well. But if you like the mod and you want to try it out, I've left a link to it in the description below, and if you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a dislike, leave a comment telling me you liked it or disliked it. or whatever, or don't. Subscribe if you want to. If you don't want to, don't subscribe. And thank you for watching, and bye.